Everybody, welcome to join this session. I will have two sessions today. The first one is like tips and tricks in the Adobe software, and the other one is the workflow of Adobe, which is already used by many people, but not everybody knows already. It's libraries and assets and so on. So if you're interested, please come later again, and then I will have the second session. Okay, I will show you first Adobe Stock. Maybe people already know this one. It's like the biggest image and stock images actually. And also you see here like videos and templates and 3D models, and even video is included with different kind of, I'm sorry, I don't know find all the names in English. It's like an extra service you can buy on your license of Adobe. So it was cold last week. It was very cold. There was nearly snow, but it was really, really cold. So I think I will just go by the penguin version you saw just 5 seconds ago, and I will do something about it. So I will search for penguins in Adobe Stock. You'll see even images or vector-based images or whatever. The internet is kind of slow here, so it may take a little while, but here it comes. You have new filters over here. What can you do with the filters? Well, you can choose wherever you want people included or people excluded, or maybe you know already, I want a vector, or no, I want a picture. So you can choose whatever you want here. And maybe you know already what the purpose is of your image. Maybe it's for social media, or maybe it's for newsletter, or maybe something else. So if you know already it's like a square, you can select only square pictures or vector-based images. So that's really nice if you have the sub-selection already. Maybe you want people included, or you have a color in mind which has to be combined with your branding, or maybe some sphere you want to create. So you can choose whatever you want, whatever you would like. At this point, I would love to not have images, but I would love to have the vector-based images, because I'm going to do something in Illustrator with these pictures. So you have here lots of penguins, and maybe I want some icebergs within, so I can choose whatever I want. Now, I did a little bit the work in front, so I will go to my second page. And here you see this is also can be found with icebergs and stuff. So I really would like to use this one. It's coming at some place. Go up. I just clicked it. I have to wait a little bit. There it is. And here you can see this is an AI file, so it is an Illustrator, welcome, based file. So everything which is vector, so all the anchor points are available. So if I want to use it, it's really nice because I can do whatever I want to do it. So it's free, it's open license. Here you have two buttons. The first one is I want to license it because I'm really sure I want to use it. And the other one is I want to save just a preview in my library. The library are just like files. I will tell everything about the libraries and the assets in my next session. If you want to know more about that, just sit down and stay here, and then I'll check you, or I'll tell you all the other things. Now you see here, this is Argos. I made already a file for you, and I saved the preview in Argos. Now, where does it go? Because I saved and I pushed the button, and I don't know where it's went to. Well, I'll go to my files, and I'll open Illustrator. And here you'll see that I have already my file open. So I downloaded first, and I opened my file in Illustrator. Because it was an AI file, it was open for use in Illustrator. If I speak about the libraries are only in the panel of every Adobe software. So like InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, or whatever, it's always the same libraries you can see. So you see here that there is the libraries, and this is my libraries panel. And my libraries panel has lots of files, and Argos is the one that I was selecting over here. If I switch back, Argos. So it's already here also. So you can see here, I can know sometimes with the presentation mode and HDMI cables. I cannot zoom in, but it's an AI file. Maybe you can see it on the monitor. So AI, it's Illustrator. Okay. Now, what can we do in Illustrator? Since we have Adobe CC every year, there's like new upgrades. So we have now the CC 2018. Something's changed. There changes a lot of things in Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator, but sometimes people don't know what has happened actually that can be used by my workflow, because there's a lot of stuff which are not usable for everybody. So I'll pick just a few points out of it, and I will explain to you. So here you see that it's vector-based. How can we see it? Well, I can click whatever I want. Everything is free for use. I can change whatever I want. And maybe you see that I have this panel open. Like, it's the properties panel. I don't know if everybody of you already used the properties panel. Not everybody knows it's in. What is it? Well, if I have this flag, I have lots of properties which are specially for this flag. And you have lots of panels. I hate it when there are a lot of panels are open in my workspace, and I don't have 3 monitors, some for the workflow and some for the images and one for the panels. I don't like it. So now you have just one. Everything I click will be changing my properties panel. So if I have a group, you will see here there's an ungroup button ready. If I want to change the flag, I don't have to go first to my swatches or selection tool and then swatches and then change the color. No, I just can double click and go in isolation mode, and then you see my fill color of my appearance of my flag is red. If I want to change it, I just click it, and then I'll change the color to whatever color I would love to have. These are my swatches. This is a color panel. Please don't use or mix colors, these things. Everybody knows the RGB CMYK issue, so please be careful. But there are other, I look at the VIGC, which can give you more info about the color issues. So you can change it. So I love this panel. I don't have to go first to all of these panels because they are just combined here, and that's really quick. So I can go to whatever I want. You see there's no stroke. You can see the effects. Maybe there's drop shadow or transparency mode or something on it, and you can disable or enable it whenever you want to or whatever you like to without searching in all the panels you have. So that's really, really major procedure that makes your work much faster, much, much, much faster. Okay, I love penguins. I don't know why, but whatever. I see them, I love them. They're also known for their lovely relationship they have. I'm not going to tell everything about the penguins, but you can look it up. But I think these penguins, they are not really in love, are they? They are just looking right just at the horizon. I just want them to look to each other. Okay, they're vector-based, I like it, but I'm not going to redraw them. No way, I'm not going to do it. So I don't know if you already heard about Puppet Warp, maybe. So Puppet Warp was already known in Photoshop, but now it's included in Illustrator. So that's really, real cool. It's here. It's like a location pin, and you can click at whatever point you want to change, like it's a skeleton or the bones of the penguin. I don't know the skeleton or the bones of the penguin because they're like really static, but I think they can move their head and maybe their nose a little bit. So there must be some kind of movement in that little creature. So I can change every point that I'm just sticking, and then I can change them and move them around. So if I want them to look down, or maybe grow a little bit, or maybe make him a little bit different, that he stands or he wiggles a bit or whatever, I can change it by this. Can you imagine that you did that by selecting all the anchor points and then redraw this thing? I hate that job. I hope you don't do that anymore. So you can do it on whatever creature or whatever thing you've drawn and illustrated with anchor points. You can puppet warp that thing. So, okay, I think it's a little bit, it's got more emotion. So I made this one also a little bit more emotional because I want them to look to each other like lovely penguins, like this. So I like this more. I love it. I did it with just 3-4 clicks and I didn't redraw them, so I think that's really cool. I can do this with that also, but I think you've got the thing that I wanted to show you. Even if you want to do it with, I don't know, with the birds. I don't like these birds anyway, but I will change them also. So you can click and maybe add some points to the wings, and I can change the wings to whatever movement I want them to make. So if you copy them and then you can go up and down, you can make those flying birds without redrawing every bird. So do that. So that's Puppet Warp. I really love it. Another thing I want to show you is that I have my libraries already. I've shown you a little bit of that, but I have also a folder which is my branding of my the organization I work for. And we have everything inside here. I will tell also later on in my next session. Like my logos, everything I reuse. So I can add my logo over here if I would love to. And we are also authorized training center. So we are only Adobe authorized experts who train or give our sessions in English, Dutch, or French, or whatever language you would love. Not in Spanish, sorry for that. But we can learn, maybe, you never know. And why am I showing this? Well, I just drag and drop this thing. So I didn't search for like a server and a folder and a map, and I don't know, I'm not craving into deeper stuff. I'm drag, drop it, I reuse it every time in every program I would love to. Another thing I want to show you is that the artboards in Illustrator are at this moment or this point maybe just used by people who have different creations. Like I have stage 1 and this is this one, and then I'll show you another one because I have recolored it or maybe done something else. But the artboards can also be used for export purpose. So maybe you know, there is like always the issue. I love this picture and this visual, but I want it once square, once vertical, horizontal, sorry, once vertical, once for social media, and I don't know, whatever kind of variations you would love to have. And I would love to have them in JPEG and also PDF and SVG because it's vector-based. I would love to keep it vector-based. And then you had like a big silence, oh no, and trim, crop, select, export, JPEG, and then again PDF, and then no, never do that again. I use my artboards for that. So the artboards are just like crop zones I use it for. So if I use like this kind of piece of my artwork, like I would love to have the first iceberg, but also the logo. So this is my first. And then maybe I want another one which is like horizontal with a little bit of the top of the iceberg, but also the stuff under it. And I also want, wait, I'm sorry, I was a little bit too quick. This visual, and make sure that there are no white spaces, otherwise you will have an export also the white line. We don't have to have that, of course. So I have different artboards put on each other because I want to cut out those parts in my export phase. So don't copy, paste, trim, crop, do whatever maybe you used to do. Because now you have this export for screens and it remembers all your artboards that you have in your file. So I have one with a full image, one with the piece on the left side, one horizontal, and one with a square kind of thing. I can export it to whatever file I would love to have. I would do that in my Creative Cloud file because then you have also the work, like the sharing option for your clients. And I will show also in the next session, so please stay a little bit longer. You can put it here, or maybe I'll make a new folder. I'll call it like Penguin. I'll choose to do it there. Open location because I want to see what I've done. Create subfolders. I want neat stuff, not everything all together. Make folders for whatever export I make. And here you see I have like 3 options. These are my last ones I've ever used, but you can deselect it, and then you can choose whatever option you want to have. So first, I want my JPEG, 100% like full quality. I want another one, not a PNG, but I want my PDF. Or I want also my SVG because it's vector-based. So SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. And maybe you can add some suffix or prefix if you want to have more vision of your files, names, and so on. If I click on export, it will export everything just in one folder. And then you'll see, if I make it a little bit bigger, I have my artboards. I have my selections from my artboards that I've made. And I just did nothing, just did push the button of the export. I have it on PDF, I have it on SVG, and I have it on JPEG. It's quite fancy, I think. A little bit smarter or faster working in this kind of stage. Okay, this is in this Illustrator, just like 3 tricks I have lots of them, just 3 because my time is limited. I'll go to InDesign and I will show you some stuff in InDesign. Maybe I'll open a new document and then you see that you have like a new kind of workspace made over here. You can choose your own or there are also templates available. If you're a graphic designer, if you're creative, I think the templates are not always what you find or what you like to find, but if you're not, it helps you a little bit. So I'll choose for a postcard, and I can place my file as my penguin file that I made some minutes ago. I can place it, it's a little bit bigger, but I can crop it, and afterwards I have my autofit also on if I want to, if I don't want to. At this moment I did not add the bleeds, so if you want to, of course, if you're print-minded, please add bleeds. So there you go, and then you can make it a little bit bigger. Also with the autofit you can change this. Okay, what happens in InDesign? Well, maybe a tip. You have lots of colors in this visual. If I want to add text, I would love to reuse the color because the colors are already in my visual. And you have here like the color team picker, you know, the picker in all other kind of software. And you can pick and choose the image. You just click once and you have 5 colors, which are the most presented in your visual. So you see this is the mouth and then the sea and all the colors you have in this visual. You have 2 options, or maybe you want to add them to your swatches or to your libraries. Again, the libraries issue. If I add this, you see that I have also my libraries in InDesign. They are just the same. And then they are presented as 5 colors in one kind of piece, in one block. Now, this is really cool because if you want to add some text, so we are like Adobe certified training center. I did a hard return, so you'll see what happens. And I can choose whatever color I would love to choose from my color team. So this is like cool because I don't have to look for the colors which are used in this. I hate this font, so I can choose different fonts. Maybe you've already seen that there is like Typekit. You can activate or deactivate lots of fonts. You have also the star, which can be favorized, one of your fonts which you use a lot. So I don't like to scroll down or type in the name of the font I use, or you can find similar fonts. So if you want to use one and then you want to activate a new font, maybe you can choose one of the variables or maybe related fonts of it. So one of the Typekit fonts is Proxima Nova. It's like our branding, so I will use this one. Not the condensed, sorry. Proxima Nova, just this one. And you see that it looks a little bit nicer. than the one I've used some time ago. So I can change the color. I can use it as styles, so I can add styles and make up my stuff. Now, I only picked the new stuff out of InDesign because there's not lots of things changed in this one. But maybe you've already seen that you have like the shading and the border, which has come extra in the last version. Now shading was maybe some kind of terrifying issue for many people. If you wanted to do this some time ago, you had to make a line and then make it bigger and then offset it, and then you entered it and it flipped all around and you had to start all over again. So now you can have this shading thing. If you want to use it, of course, you have extra options, borders and shading. You see here, shading is the color you want to use, the offset you want to use. Maybe you wanted to clip it to the frame you've made, and so on and so on. So I really love it. That's like the highlighter, the marker you use. The other thing that has come is the border. Eventually I didn't like it, but afterwards I did find some solutions for that. So the border is like, I want my frame in a border. You don't need to make the frame first with a little line and then it changes and it does things you don't want to. So you can just border your paragraph at this time. So you will see that I have like some ugly thing done here. If you use as hard enters, then you can see that if I offline the shading, that it makes two borders out of it. So it's really paragraph based. If I soft enter, then it's like one box. If you don't like it, that it's so close, then you can go back to your properties and you can say, well, I want to offset a little bit. So it changes the border and not my text, because I hate it if they touch my text, you know. So that's a little bit of InDesign. Maybe just the last one. I think I have like 1 minute, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, I don't know. Whatever. I love this button called the Publish Online button, because if and I'm gonna show just a little bit of the next session, just a little bit like this. If I have my library already with some text preserved, I can add some interactivity. So if I uses one of the texts I've already had entered in my library and I just drag drop this thing, I can go to interactivity, which is the animation panel. We could never ever use it because it was Flash and nobody loved it. iPads hated it. But now we have this animation option and you can like appear or maybe do some weird stuff, flying from the left. Something are really ugly, but others are nice. And what is very nice is that if I use this button over here, like Publish Online, it keeps every animation that I have, even hyperlinks, which I didn't do, buttons, even video is included. Animations which were Flash were transformed to HTML5. So you can send this like a link to all of your customers or embed it even in your website. So that's really cool. If I go like here, Penguin, and I think I did already the work because a little bit, oops, oh no, damn, I didn't. I closed it, good. Penguin. You can even download it if you want to, make it high resolution, even maximum resolution, and publish it. What you will have, if it's published, you have a URL, and you are looking through the URL to my InDesign file. So you see here, you can share it, view documents. This is endd.adobe.com. You're looking to my InDesign file, and it was really fast. I'll show you. You have also my dashboard, where I can see how many people are looking at my file, even desktop or maybe mobile. Maybe there are more mobile users. So I'm just hoping to let you see this last one. and then I'll finish it up. So publish online is like a tool within InDesign without knowing HTML, but just having a little bit of the view. So this is the other one that I've made yesterday, so a little bit nicer. So you see, that was Flash-based, but now it's HTML. I can do it full screen, I can share it, I can zoom in, I can do whatever I want to. So I think that's really an option for people, like an interactive PDF. I thank you very much, maybe, and I hope to see you in my next session. I give you the word again. Thank you.
Thank you, Marieke. Yeah, and I know that I was not listening into your session from the beginning because I had technical issues, but I was listening into the last 5-10 minutes, and I just think it was great. I mean, couldn't you listen more to Marieke? I think that you are really nice to listen to, so that was good.
Okay, thank you.
So, does anybody have a question to Marieke, or for the we can see that there's not such a big audience,
yeah,
right?
no, we can see that. But there's another session also. So I think I've already said that I will give some more info about the libraries thing, because now it was like tricks and technical issues, but the workflow maybe can be optimized as well. So
sounds interesting. So thank you very much, Marieke.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. I can detach.